Do you have questions concerning planning a Disney trip? Ask them live on the show or submit them on our website at patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Monday night. I'm here. Hi. Pacers play tonight. So, there's that. Game 5 against the Thunder. I'm going to try and get that out of my face. I don't necessarily know that I like that light tonight. I don't know. Got some Disney news. I mean, that's kind of why I'm here, isn't it? For some Disney news. And we've got some of that tonight. Nothing crazy going on. But I think it's worth noting some of the stuff that's closing, opening, and that kind of stuff. We're kind of getting into the summer doldrum, but we're going to get a couple things coming back. We got a couple more things that we have closed dates for now. So, yeah, just trying to catch up on some of that stuff. But, I mean, past that, I mean, I don't know, relatively slow show. We'll talk a little bit about some back and forth over on Twitter X. But, yeah, it's hasn't been a crazy week when it comes to Disney stuff. So go ahead and get to the show, and we'll see where it goes. Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience, so that our clients can execute memorable adventures. Together with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, we have helped hundreds of clients plan, book, and prepare for magical Disney vacations. Let our experience help you avoid common planning mistakes and maximize the enjoyment on your next Disney trip. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI podcast. It is Monday night. It is a Pacers game night. We've got a lot going on. Like I said in the opening, there's not a ton of Disney news tonight, but I am going to talk about a few different... Yuck. Hey, Emmy, how you doing? A few different things that are going on at the parks as far as openings and closings. We finally have an opening date for Test Track version 3.0. We've got an opening date for Disney Starlight. We've got an opening date or a closing date for the Dino Dig area now. So lots of stuff going on around the parks. I'm doing well. But yeah, it's Disney right now. You would think in the summer, this is where they should be doing most of their openings and closing, or bringing in their new stuff. Getting people excited to come to the parks. I put today's title the way I did because there was a huge discrepancy in wait times over the weekend. No, I don't stream here daily. We're once a week right now, and then we've got a YouTube channel. So, but I think Disney has finally had COVID catch up to it. And, if you've listened to the show for a while, we talk about this monthly, maybe a little bit more than monthly, about how the expectation of attendance should be much lower this summer. And why should the expectation for attendance be much lower this summer? Well, the big thing is, and This light is bothering me. I don't know where I need to put it, but it's okay. That's better, I guess. I don't know. It's just kind of making me mad right now. We've seen this coming down the road for a while. Hey, Emmy, thanks for the follow over on Twitch. No, it's been one of those things that the writing has been there that we were going to have a slow summer. When we went a couple weeks ago, I wouldn't say it was slow. I mean, it was definitely lower crowds than we thought we'd get, but I wouldn't say it was slow. This past weekend, it was slow. This past weekend would have been the first weekend that Florida schools were out. This past weekend would have been the first weekend that most of your East Coast schools are out, that they didn't have graduations or that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's really strange to see that. I mean, I don't know why your thing didn't come across. There it goes. Emmy following over on Twitch right now. Also, other followers, Kenny Lopez over on YouTube earlier today. Gaharly Artistry Design on YouTube. And Tycoon McDuck over on YouTube. So, I want to thank you guys all for joining the channel and checking our stuff out. If you haven't gone into the YouTube channel yet, definitely go over there and check out some of the content we have from the parks. We just posted the new Finding Nemo show. We got video of that when we were down there in a couple weeks. Emmy, I'm on here every Monday night at 7:15 Eastern. So that is my streaming schedule right now. The live show is a very small part of what we do concerning Disney travel and Disney content. But the live show is our news and note show that is a live stream every Monday night. And if we're not going to go on Monday night, definitely want to subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out our posts, because we will let you know when we're not going live on Monday nights. But thank you for the compliment. My vibes are kind of low tonight for some reason. I'm more focused on getting ready for the Pacers game, I think, than anything else. But yeah, crowds are gonna be crazy, crazy low this summer, and I really think that you're gonna run into this. I would say probably over the next couple of years. You know, the first big boost you're going to get back is later this month. I think you're going to see a couple of busy weeks when Test Track comes back, when Disney Starlight opens up. And then just, it's one of those things that I think it's going to die down, and then you're going to have one of these, you know, for locals, unbelievable Augusts where you can just kind of go and do whatever you want whenever you want. I think August is just going to be like crazy low. And then from there you're going to run into the ramp up for Not So Scary. And I think you'll get some busy days during the Halloween season and the Not So Scary season. And then I think you're going to see another huge drop-off in November. Even with Very Merry, I think you're going to see a huge drop-off in November. I think you're going to see a huge drop-off in December. And then, you know, I really think next year is going to be a lot of the same. Next year is going to be a lot of this, I would say 60 to 70% crowd. Now, when you think about that, it's still a ton of people. But at 60 to 70%, you're doing what you want when you want at the parks for the most part. It's not anything that's going to be like crazy busy, crazy stupid, hard to plan. It's going to be one of those things that's really, really, really kind of easy to get in and out. Now, why is that? Well, I think a lot of people right now, you're dealing with a couple of different things. The first thing is the limitations of expendable income. It is hard for a lot of people to come up with $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 to go down to the parks right now. It just is. And even staying at a Pop Century resort and going to one park a day and not park hopping, even if you're, eating conservatively, for a family of 4, you're still spending $1,000 a day. It is what it is. Between park tickets and the hotel and everything else, you're looking at $1,000 a day. So if you want to do every park, you're looking at $4,000. If you're wanting to get in the night before, leave the next morning, you're looking at another, $500, $1,000 on top of that. So, I just don't think families have that money for the most part right now. There are some. I mean, there's still people going to the parks, so there's still people that have some money. But a lot of people are prioritizing a little bit differently right now because of what's going on. I think the other thing that you're running into is there is a little bit of I'm not going to say a backlash, but I think it's a hurt feelings in some of the projects that Disney's doing. And you really see that in a couple of different areas. One of them's Tom Sawyer Island and the Liberty Bell and the Rivers of America. The other's in Grand Avenue, Muppets 3D, Pizza Rizzo, that kind of stuff. I think those two projects struck nerves with people. And a lot of these projects do strike nerves with people, but I think these two projects in particular. I mean, when you look at what has happened the last few, I won't say major editions, but Tron was an open piece, they didn't take anything away. Guardians was an open piece, they didn't take anything away. Tiana's, they did take something away, they took hell for it. I think the Disney fan is getting to a point of being okay with not supporting Disney. And that's troublesome for the company. I mean, it's super troublesome for the company when you're losing that core fan base. I think that's when you have the biggest problems. And unfortunately, I think that's where Disney is getting to be. There are the butt sniffers that are always going to love Disney. They're always going to say good things about Disney, that kind of stuff. You can get into that echo chamber over on Twitter, and you can never realize that Disney does anything that is marginally taken wrong. And then you can actually get out and talk to people and get outside of friends of friends on Twitter and see there's a lot of things going on right now that people don't like inside and outside the parks. We talked about at the beginning of the year, there still might be a major walkout of cast members at Disney Springs. There's a lot going on at Disney Springs right now that is working on being addressed, but I don't know if it's being addressed to the cast members' liking. And then you've got these projects. So let's talk a little bit about the projects we've got going on. Just if this is your first time here, thanks for joining us. But there's a lot going on. We'll talk about it pretty consistently. So Magic Kingdom, huge project coming. Cars Land and possibly Villains Land. And I throw in and possibly now because it sounds like Villains Land might be on the chopping block. Why, I don't know, but I'm hearing murmurs that Villains Land may never happen. So you got Cars Land. It's going to take out this area called the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island. Ride-wise, attraction-wise, is not the most exciting area in the world. But what it is a place to relax in a park that is constant chaos. It gave you the ability to just have some open naturescape. There was a boat ride there on the Liberty Bell. There was a self-exploration island called Tom Sawyer Island. They used to do canoes around Rivers of America. They used to do all kinds of stuff. But it's just one of those natural areas that isn't natural to Florida at all, by the way. But it's there between Frontierland, before you get to Adventureland. And it's this nice, for the most part, relaxing area. It's one of the few places in the parks where you do not have things going on both sides of you. When you get on Frontierland, you've got your bank of buildings on the one side and then Rivers of America on the other side. And it kind of gives you the ability to chill, relax. And that's always the area that I would want to go if I was feeling overwhelmed in the park. Well, they're taking this area out. They're putting in a Cars-themed ride. Piston Peak is what they're calling it. And it is going to be a Cars-themed ride. So that's happening. There's supposed to be a secondary Cars ride. We have not heard anything about the secondary Cars ride yet. I think if they're smart, they make it a smaller scale. I don't even know if it needs to be smaller scale. If you could weave it through Piston Peak, make an Autopia over there. A Cars-themed Autopia running through the higher thrill, which it's not going to be a high thrill ride by any means, but through the higher thrill Cars ride that you're putting in. Okay? You do that, you kill two birds with one stone. You set yourself up for something down the line. We'll get to that here in a second. But Cars Land going in there. Next project is Villains Land. Villains Land looks like it's going to go in at the end of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, wrap around the backside of this Cars Land, all the way over to Haunted Mansion, and have at least a roller coaster and a dark ride. I think you're going to get a roller coaster, a dark ride, and a show, because I think some iteration of the villain show that is at Hollywood Studios right now goes to Magic Kingdom when Villains Land opens, if Villains Land opens. What else do we have going on at Magic Kingdom? Well, we have the Astro Orbiter. The Astro Orbiter just finished its refurb, and it is up and running. Let me check. I think it actually might be up and running now. I'm actually going to look at it. But the Astro Orbiter has been down for a few months. They have been completely redoing the ride, and it is going to be ready to go here soon. People Mover, Lightyear. Yeah. Astro Orbiter is not up yet. But just to give you an idea, okay, so my Disney Experience app. if you were to go to the park right now, you're getting on Buzz Lightyear in 5 minutes. You're getting on Carousel Progress in 5 minutes, or 15 minutes for Buzz Lightyear, 5 minutes for Carousel, 5 minutes for People Mover, 30 minutes for Space Mountain, 60 minutes for Tron, 15 minutes for Tomorrowland Speedway, 50 minutes for Seven Doors Mine Train, 40 minutes for Peter Pan, 45 for Tiana's, 30 for Jungle Cruise. It's 7:30 on a Monday during the summer at Magic Kingdom. Where are the people at? They're not all eating. Where are they at? Those wait times should be 25% higher right now. So that's why I'm saying crowds are only 65 to 75% right now. Tron should be closer to 80. Seven Doors Mine Train should be over an hour. And you have to remember, this is with Big Thunder Mountain down right now, and no Astro Orbiter right now. But Astro Orbiter will be reopening here soon. What else do we have going on? We have the refurb of Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. It is going to be going down at the end of the year. It is going to be down for a while, and it is going to come back up with new blasters, new targets, new show scene, a lot of new stuff. Why is Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin important? Well, I'm going to tell you. Because I think Tomorrowland is the next major project at Magic Kingdom. And I think it is a complete Tomorrowland demolition other than Tron. I think you're going to get a brand new Space Mountain. I think you're going to get 1 or 2 rides in the space of where Tomorrowland Speedway is. I think you're going to get a ride in the Mission Space. What was that? The old Stitch Experience building. I think you're going to get a new show or a ride in where Laugh Floor is, because Laugh Floor is going over to Hollywood Studios, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So, but yeah, I think once you get Villains Land up, I say it's 2030, and you're going to see a 3 or 4 year project at Magic Kingdom for Tomorrowland. Completely redone. And I don't think it's going to be like, let's slap Avengers Campus over here, because that doesn't make any sense at all, especially with Tron there now. I think it is a Tomorrowland refresh in spectacular scale. Okay, let's go to Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom, Dino Land is being changed into the Equatorial Americas. We are getting an Encanto ride. The dinosaur ride is changing to Indiana Jones. There's going to be one other ride on this area, and all new theming throughout the land. Importance of this, we've got Dinosaur closing at the end of the year. We also have the Boneyard, which is that kind of self-guided dig area that is closing at the end of September. So if you are a fan of one or both of those areas, you need to check that out before it closes. Hollywood Studios, another big project there. We've got Monsters Inc. Land coming into Hollywood Studios, and it is going to be over in that Grand Avenue area. We have had the last show of Muppet Vision 3D. We have had the closure of Pizza Rizzo and Mama Melrose. All the other shops are closed back there. The whole land is closed now. It's behind walls. They have basically fenced off the cast parking lot where this new land is going to push out into, and they are beginning work on this area. This land is supposed to open at the beginning of 2027 as well. So then you have Epcot. Epcot just went through a relatively big transformation. Addition of Guardians, addition of a new pavilion, basically, the Connections Pavilion. And it was like 80% done. They didn't do the refurb on Spaceship Earth that was originally planned. They didn't do the Cherry Tree Lane expansion that was originally planned. This is why, anything that is on the table for Disney to do can be off the table just as quick. But you got Guardians, you got the Journey of Water, the Tiana walkthrough experience. So there were some good things that were added to Epcot. Now, one problem that is happening now is this lighting package that they put in the park area. It's been a nightmare since they put it down. The first week it was down, they didn't tell the cleaning crew that it couldn't be pressure washed. Water got down into them, shorted out a bunch of the light strips, had to close the area down to do work on those. They finally get them back up and working, and now they're a tripping hazard. So they've got the whole area roped off again. They got to figure out something, because what they had was really good with the fiber optics coming up through the concrete. They tried to make it cute and work with Spaceship Earth and all the other lighting packages that they added around Spaceship Earth, and it has been a colossal nightmare since it's opened. So you have that. So that's what's going on around the parks. A couple of conversations that we had over on Twitter wanted to bring up. First one is, what is going on with the theater at Animal Kingdom? And we've talked about this a few times. So Dreams That Soar was a drone show that they ran at Disney Springs last summer. And I thought it was pretty well done. It was pretty bare bones. There's not a lot of things that they could interact with at Disney Springs. So it was just kind of drones up in the sky making pictures. They had some music to go with it. It was what it was. But I really think it was more of a test for climatology more than anything, to show if the drones were able to be successful in the Florida climate, and what needed to change to these drones, to be successful, and what did they need as far as equipment to make sure that if they did fall into the water, they could get them out quickly, that if they did fall in the water, major damage wasn't done to the drones, that kind of stuff. I think they've been working on that for the past year and a half now. I'm trying to figure out, how do they make a drone show work in Florida on a consistent basis? These one-off drone shows that they've been putting up have been great. I really think Disney wants to see something like they had in Paris, which is a consistent nightly drone show at one of their parks. Well, what park is that going to be? It's going to be Animal Kingdom. It makes the most sense there. The drones will not disrupt the animals the way that the fireworks do. So I feel like you're going to get a drone show of some sort at Animal Kingdom. Now, you have the ability for it to play off of the Tree of Life, and almost do like a Fireflies type thing. I really think that you could have your drone staging area outside of the park, bring them in dark to the Tree of Life, and then have them come out from the Tree of Life to the theater like Fireflies, and start the show like that. I think that that's something that they're looking into. I think there's a way to do it without, getting into, walkways and that kind of stuff, because you are going to have people walking around the park still when the drone show happens. So you can't have drones going over walkways and potentially falling on guests and that kind of stuff. But I think they're working on how does this work? Do they just shoot, like put the drones on top of the theater and the Wild building and go from there? Who knows? But I think that's what's coming to that theater, and I think you're going to get an announcement on it. I would say D23 this year is going to be like, oh, look, we're thinking about doing a show at Animal Kingdom, and then D23 next year will be, this is what the show is. And then you have Starlight at Magic Kingdom. Starlight is the new parade that is going to be at Magic Kingdom. It is opening on July the 20th. And like I said, I think that's your big boost for the summer, because you're going to get Starlight on July 20th. You're going to get Test Track reopening on July 22nd. 22nd? In my head, that sounds right, and then I said it, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. July 22nd. It was right. So yeah, it's one of those things that I think you're going to see happen. You're going to get a boost of people into July, and then it's really going to drop off. I think, like I said, you're going to get last week of July, first week of August, boosting crowds. And then I think after the first week in August, I think crowds just fall off. Because you're going to have kids going back to school. I know East Coast starts later in August, with Florida starts a little later in August. But Midwest starts first week of August. So you're starting to lose major market there. So yeah, I feel like it's going to be one of those summers that if you want to go and you're not really worried about the difference in a couple $100. If you would have planned 8 months ago, you probably would have saved a couple $100 on your trip. I still think you can get really good deals right now. Walt Disney World Resort. I bet you we can get into Pop Century the last week of July, right around $230. We'll see. Places to stay. Value. Pop Century. July. We'll go the last week. 28th through August 1st. 15. 11. Find result. And I bet you there's still good deals. Probably really good deals. Room rates. What do we get? Stay longer and save. $204 a night for a pool view. $189.55 for a standard room. So let's see. We'll do that. So this is 5 days. We'll do the 4 parks because they'll give us a 6-day on that. 4. No park hopper. Continue. Let's put like the smaller dining package on it. Small dining plan. So the 2 quick service meals per day, a snack and a mug. It is $4,300. $4,300. You can, I mean, and that's a month away. You can book in a month and basically get a bounce back offer that you could have booked a year ago at Pop Century. So, yeah, it's just one of those. I think Disney's not in trouble by any means. No way they're in trouble. I mean, they may not hit their forecast, but they're not in trouble. They've got money coming in a lot of different ways. But if you want to go experience the parks for the first time, this is a great time to do it if you've got the money. Fantastic time to do it if you have the money. And if you want to splurge on one of the nicer hotels, it's something that can be done right now. Even like, we'll go over to Animal Kingdom Lodge. Animal Kingdom Lodge is probably, when it comes to like a deluxe resort that doesn't eat your wallet like a deluxe resort should, it's Animal Kingdom Lodge. And it's because you only have one mode of transportation there. But as far as amenities go, as good as any deluxe resort you have. So, same dates, July 28th through 8/1. If you want to do a even like a Savannah View villa, normal price $962. You can get it for $720 a night. Has two full bedrooms, or 2 full bathrooms, full kitchen, living room, dining area, washer and dryer, and a balcony. So, resort view room at Animal Kingdom Lodge, $368 a night. So you can do that same trip that you could do for $4,300 at Pop Century. If you decide not to do the dining plan and say, we just want to stay somewhere nicer, we'll figure out food once we get down there. You can do the Animal Kingdom Lodge for $4,200. If you want to throw the dining plan on there, it's $5,100. That's really good. That's really good. 5 days, Monday through Friday, 4 parks, no park hopper. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, they're not hurting. They aren't. But I think a couple of weak summers is going to get them maybe thinking about what they need to do at the parks. I don't know that the excitement's there for the new areas right now. I really don't think it is. So, Encanto, good movie. I don't know what you're going to get fan base wise. Cars, good movie series. It's going to be the Cars land. And this is I saw a post on this the other day, and it rang so true. Disney, for the past 10 years, has been in the business of just cloning things from other parks and then rebuilding them. You got Cars Land right in California, and then you change it when you bring it to Florida. Why? Like, the one thing you got right, and you're not going to bring that? So yeah, so you've got that, and then and then Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. is one of those. I don't even know how to describe Monsters Inc. Because Tron was getting to a point where Tron was my parents' movie. So when it opened, my kids and my grandparents, or my parents, could talk about something at the parks that my kids didn't really know anything about. My parents did. Cars is one of those things that, or Monsters Inc. is one of those things that when it was released, it's like those kids that remember Monsters Inc. may not even be parents yet. Especially the ones that, like, it really hit age range correctly. I don't know that it really hits that demographic really well. So that's gonna be one where, you know, my parents saw the movie with my youngest brother. But my grandparents don't know the movie. My kids know the movie because we've watched it together. So I feel like it just falls out of that generational conversation. And that's something that I need to coin when I talk about Disney, is generational conversation. I really feel like that is why the Magic Kingdom did so well for so long. That's why Disneyland did so well for so long. Because Disneyland Park and the Magic Kingdom Park took concepts that grandparents and grandkids could talk about together and further an idea or concept beyond just a ride. It became a conversational piece at that point. It became a bonding point between generations. You know, that grandma rode Pirates of the Caribbean with the grandkids. And they talked about, you know, the movies and the inspiration for pirates, and, you know, the World of Disney show that showed the Imagineers, you know, making the pirates, and all this kind of stuff. And Disney is getting away from those types of ideas. You know, Tron doesn't fit into that. Not even close. Cars doesn't fit into that. Villain's Land could be interesting. It depends on how they implement Villain's Land. But how does Villain's Land impact Not So Scary? You know, if you have something that you have deemed special for years and years and years and years, and then it's not special anymore, what does it do to your special event? It's not special anymore. So, yeah, lots to think about. I'm going to check out the Twitter real quick, see if I missed anything. I don't think I did. Talked about that. Snow White's on Disney Plus now. Whatever. Stitch was at Disneyland Road. Small World. Check out the video on the Disneyland Resort Twitter X page. And Fall into Magic with new Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse Halloween looks, and Oogie Boogie Bash tickets officially on sale June the 26th, So Oogie Boogie Bash, the not so scary of the West Coast. Tickets will go on sale June the 26th. And I saved this, and this was more just for my family than anything. But there's a new ham and Gruyere sandwich in the Magic Kingdom. And it's funny because the last Disney movie night we had before we went to Disney World this year, Braden and I got to plan out the menu in the movie, and we did upscale grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup, which we did like a ratatouille style tomato soup that had zucchini in it, and we did the ham and Gruyere grilled cheese sandwich that we made from scratch. And then all of a sudden, Disney has to steal another one of our ideas. So, no, ham and Gruyere. It's a good combination. It makes a really good sandwich. But I thought it was hysterical that, hey, we did ham and Gruyere sandwiches for our Disney movie night, and it is a croque monsieur, something like that, is what they're called. But yeah, well, I'm gonna let you guys all go. Thank you much for joining the show tonight. Make sure to go over to the channel after the show if you're not already entrenched in it, and check out our video of Finding Nemo, The Big Blue and Beyond. And definitely share it out to your YouTube pages, Facebook pages, Twitter pages, anything you can do to help us. We greatly appreciate. As of this afternoon, we had 1,106 subscribers over on YouTube. Thank you very much to every single one of you that stops in and checks this out. And yeah, it's going. It's a good summer, and we will be continually posting every week. Next week, Country Bear Musical Jamboree will be released. In 2 weeks, we've got Villains Unfairly Ever After being released. And between now and then, we are going to revamp our ride series. We are going to have two styles of ride videos. We are going to have a ride video, which is just going to be intro, and then you get onto the ride. And then we're going to have ride experience videos, which are going to go and have the pre-shows, and they're going to have queue walkthroughs, and they're going to have external pans and all that kind of stuff, so you get the experience of the ride as well. So, two different ways to watch rides on our channel. We've also got something cool coming up with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. We are going to do a side-by-side comparison of the two versions of Big Thunder Railroad here stateside. We've got really good videos of both of them, so we are gonna go ahead and do that and try and get that done by the end of the summer as well. I don't know if we're going to talk through it or if we're just going to put music on it or how we're going to do it, but I'm going to slap those things together, see what they look like, and then kind of go from there. So, all right. Thank you guys all for watching tonight. You guys have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you next week. Bye now. We had no guests, and that's okay, because they're going to be coming back here real soon, and we'll talk about them when they come. looking for us on social media, you can find us in a whole lot of places. The easiest is going to be over on Facebook at DPI Podcast on Facebook, at PATM Disney Travel for the travel side. Over on Twitter X, you can find us at Disney Insights. And then you can find us on YouTube and Instagram and Twitch and all kinds of places. Just look up Disney Insights. Thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, following everything that you do to support the channel. You guys all have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you next